You don't have to be creative or even willing to try new foods to be successful at cooking at home on a daily or at least a consistent basis. I will be the first to tell you that it has taken me the better part of the past 12 years to not only learn how to cook for myself and my family, but how to function in my kitchen to where it doesn't take up much mental space or an extraordinarily amount of stress. I have figured out that the best way to have a well-working kitchen is to have a good pantry. Now, the mechanics of a kitchen is going to look different to everybody because everybody's lifestyle is different. And I do want to say, I'm not talking about actually building your dream kitchen or your dream pantry. I'm just here to touch base on one of the 4 major parts of a kitchen. So when it comes to your food, you should have your freezer food, your refrigerated food, hopefully some long-term storage food, and then your short-term pantry. Now, all of these are a huge topic to discuss, so I will spare you from rambling, but I did compile a list of pantry food that I like to have on hand at all times. Now, I will tell you that we are a family of 5, and all 5 of us are picky eaters. And we do not put shame on each other for it. It just is what it is. I've just got to say, I think just from being a family for 12 years now, that I have adapted and overcame. It is just not something that bothers me. So maybe my pantry will probably look a little bit different than yours, but even with 5 picky eaters in the house, making sure my pantry is stocked with my usual foods, a priority every time I go grocery shopping, has been probably one of the more liberating things I have done in my motherhood or wifehood, parenthood, whatever you want to call it. It truly does take a huge load of stress off because I know even if my fridge is sparse, my freezer is sparse, at least I have my pantry. There are 6 major parts to the pantry that I like to divide it into to help me grocery shop. And that includes proteins, vegetables, fruits, grains, pasta, and rice. That's like one group to me. Convenient foods. Yes, convenient foods. And then your oils and seasonings. Now, we do have a very small homestead. So we have our chickens and ducks and our really large garden. I do a lot of canning. Obviously, it's probably the reason why half of you are here. And then I do try to just preserve either by dehydrating or freezing some of the garden harvest too. But I do rely on the store still. We are definitely not 100% self-sufficient. I honestly don't think that's even quite possible. You can come close, but I don't think anybody can truly become 100% self-sufficient. Mostly because of things like salt, olive oil. Olive trees don't grow up here in Michigan where I am, so things like that. Flour is a big one. There's just a lot of items that we do need outside sources to retrieve from. So all that said, my pantry at the end of the day is definitely a good mix between home canned, home preserved items and store-bought items. And my encouragement is to not get knocked over from looking at somebody's pantry and saying, oh, I wish mine looked like that. No, the point is, and the goal should be, especially if you want to eventually cook almost everything at home, or maybe you want to do a pantry challenge this coming year, anything of that sort, the goal is to be, how can I make this pantry work for me and my children and my spouse and etc. So in my list, which I will leave down below, I do go into detail what each of the 6 components to a pantry is made of, like what proteins are you talking about, what grains are you talking about, etc., etc. I try to give you almost like a grocery list to look for. But any of the foods, no matter if it's beans or if it's peas or pasta or rice, whatever you see on the list, that is what I put my main focus on. I only leave special foods for special occasions and I really need to have a recipe before I go buy it. Everything else, though, that you will see in the list, that's everyday food. When I go grocery shopping, those take top priority. Besides fridge and freezer food too, of course, but like dairy and butter, of course. But this video is about the pantry specifically. And like I said earlier, making sure I have a stocked pantry is truly a liberating thing I could do. It saves us money because I know we'll eat it. Eventually, anyway. The good thing about pantry food is that it does have some shelf life in it, unlike refrigerator food. So, all that to say, I really hope this is encouraging to you guys. I know a lot of people like to do no spend challenges, pantry challenges, January, February, March. That is a great fiscal quarter of the year to do stuff like that. So go down below and look at the list. It goes straight to my website, thecottagevegetable.com. I really hope this helps you take care of your pantry in a way that will help you in the end. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.